Hello, so for the math nights, we come over to your school, you're having a PTA meeting, or you want us to come over at lunchtime possibly and do some fun things with math to get the kids excited and gather some new concepts. When we do the math night, all the kids get a little what we call a punch card or a rewards card, because as they go around and they finish all the events, then that's when they get to come back to the rewards cabinet or rewards table we have and collect the prizes that we have. So it helps build some excitement, gets everybody engaged because they have to get through the math events in order to get to the prize cabinet. So the rewards work well. This is what it looks like. You'll see these whenever we come over. We'll give them to every student, and then we're off and running to the races with the math night. So stand by. We're going to go over all the games in just a second. Thank you. Okay, hey, this is Russ again here, Mathnasium of Huntsville, Jones Valley next to Mellow Mushroom. First game we're going to talk about when we come to your school for a math night, which is a great time, is what we call 10 slam. And what we do is we're trying to teach kids about the base number of 10. And why is that important? Because once you have the 10s, you can do a lot of different things. In fact, the decimal system is based on 10, our monetary system is based on 10. So we do that with a deck of cards, and here we just happen to have a handy dandy deck of Mathnasium cards. And the way this works is you have teams there, oftentimes with a minimum of 2 players. And with those 2 players, they have a deck of cards. We divide the deck in half, okay? And once they play, we're trying to see how fast they can add in their head, in their mind, the mental math, to get to the number of 10. So what they do is they throw over 3 cards. So the first card was an 8. The second card was a 0, so we still have 8. The next card was a 10, bam, they would say 10. So the first person to hit deck. So then that person takes the deck of cards. Now, we play again, the next deck, they flip it up. Oh, I've got a 7. Next card, I've got an 8. Ooh, I busted, that's because 8 and 7, 15, right? But we go ahead and throw the third card down. Now I've got a 9 on there, I'm at 24. So this deck stays on the board, and now we go again for the next 3. There's a 5. We're starting over. There's another 5. There's 10. We still got to play the third card. What could it be? If it's a 0, winner, winner, chicken dinner, that's the 10. I slam it. I say slam 10, and I take that deck. So again, this is just the first game we have on our math night. It helps the kids get the mental math down. Stay tuned. We got the other 9 games coming up. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wesley Evans. I'm a tutor at Mathnasium of Huntsville, and I'm here to help show you how to play the game Sticky Note Fractions, a game that we play on our math nights here at Huntsville, or Mathnasium of Huntsville. So, how this game works, all you need is some sticky notes, something to put sticky notes against, something to write with, and a pair of dice. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to roll the dice. And I got a 1 and a 6. So with that 1 and a 6, I can choose either 1 over 6 or 6 over 1. And from there, we can just put it on what's going to become our number line. So let's do 1 over 6 for this. All right. So now we've got 1 over 6. Because this is a small fraction, I'm going to put it over here on the left, where a number line will typically have smaller numbers. So now, let's see what we get next. 5 and 2. I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to put the 5 over the 2, so we'll have a number bigger than 1. Alright, so we'll take our 5 over 2, and we'll put it on this side of our number line. So let's roll the dice again. I got 2 2s, 2 over 2. So that one I don't have to choose, that makes it easy. And we'll put that one right here. And finally, last, 3 over 4. Well, a 3 and a 4 does not necessarily have to be 3 over 4. You get to choose what order you put them in. So, players will alternate rolling the dice and putting their fractions on the number line. It's okay to move them around if you need to. We just trying to see how many times we can do this. And eventually, each player will have done it 5 times, and at there, we make sure that our number line is correct. And that is how you play Sticky Note Fractions.
Hey, good day, folks. Okay, let's talk about game 3 for math night. Whenever you come over to see you, one of the things we're going to talk about is called, on the game 3, it's called tangram. And as you can see here, what you have is you have an overall shape. And what this does is teaches you some cognitive skills, because you got to start thinking about how can I get to the solution to cover all of this with the various shapes that you may have. You could have some octagons, a sextagon, you could have a pentagon, you could have some trapezoids thrown in there, and you could have, oh my goodness, the dreaded rhombus. So what we get into is we're starting out teaching some fundamentals for geometry, which they're going to come up to whenever they get beyond the 5th and 6th grade. And as they start doing them, the things that you'll notice is that they put the pieces on the tangram, and you'll find that there's really no one right answer. The biggest thing is to get them to see how they can play with the different geometric shapes to fill in the shaded area. And once they complete this task, then that's when they get the credit for the reward card to follow on to the reward cabinet or at the end of the event. So again, for math night, game 3, tangram, geometry. Thank you. The next game we play is station number 4. This is what we call the Atomorphs game. And the way this works, again, we go back to the handy deck of cards. So let's talk about it. So first of all, everybody gets dealt 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got your magic deck of cards dealt to you. And so now that you're holding those, then we lay this down as the base unit which you start off of. And notice what this is 1 plus 2 equals 3. So now we get to change this equation, and you get to do it with the randomness of the cards that you're dealt. So in this case, in my cards, if I was to put down, if one person was to put down a 4, then 1 plus 4, and the other person could go down to 5, okay? Or if you can make this equation rather within your hand, 4 and 5, 1 plus 4 equals 5, then you get to take that hand that way. And then you get to repeat the process throughout the different cards that you have within your hand. So what it does is teach you to work with the different numbers, the randomness of a deck of cards. Station 4, math night. Game Math 5 at your math night. We're going to play a little game called what? Wait for it. Sum up, sum down. That's right. So how does that work? First of all, we return to our lovely Mathnasium deck of cards, everyone. And we're going to start with the number 100. That's our base number that we work off of. And as you flip the cards over, you time yourself for 1 minute. How many minutes? 1 minute. How many seconds are in 1 minute? 60 seconds. How long? 1 minute. So what we do is we start with the 1. So we have our contestants lined up, and we do them one at a time. And we have to spin the clock over. And here's what we do. Watch this. So let's say the first, so we're at 100, right? So I flip up the first card, it's 5, so that's 95. What's the next card number? It's a 5, so now we're at 90. Okay, next card, it's a 2, I'm at 88. Next card up, I'm at another 2, I'm at 86. Next card up, 86 minus 4, I'm at 82. And you keep rolling like that, and when the minute is up, we then take and we count the cards that you have. And at the end of the time frame with your contestants that you have, whoever has the most number of cards gets to win. And what it teaches them really quick is the mental math of subtracting. You can do the same thing with addition, but in this case, it's sum up, sum down. Math night, give us a shout. Mathnasium, Jones Valley.
What's going on, my future mathematicians? This is Mr. K from Mathnasium of Huntsville, located near the Mellow Mushroom in Jones Valley. And I'm here to introduce a game called Playing the Odds. So we've at least heard a little bit about lottery, or, you know, flipping a coin and hearing about odds or probability. Well, this game introduces that concept in a fun and exciting way, using dice. So here's how it works. A player gets a worksheet, and they start off with 100 points. They're going to guess where these dice are going to land based on the facilitator's roll. So, for instance, if I think I'm going to roll a 2, I put 2 in the first block here for the first round. And I can write the odds in the second block here, and I get that information from the bottom of the page. So the odds of landing on a 2 are 1 in 35. How the point system works is, if you actually land a 2, then you get this many points. If you don't land, you get this many points. So it's kind of the opposite way. So in this case, if I were to roll a 2, I would get plus 35. Even though that's the amount of chances of it not rolling, for our point system, this is how we're going to do it. And you're going to add that to your total score. So this is a filled out page of your worksheet here, where you have the example of losing points and winning points. Now, if you notice on the bottom, it says prime here. Just landing on the particular number isn't the only way you can play the odds. You could also think of a group of numbers and look at those odds, like the probability of you landing on an even number, or the probability of you landing on a 10 or above. So that's how the game works. You use the odds, you play the field, and you try to get as many points as you can compared to the other players. And it's a really fun game, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay folks, Math Night, we're back at you again. We're going to play another game here. What's this one called? Called Magic Plus. This one's a pretty good little game, because one of the things that you'll notice about Mathnasium when you start working with us is we have, believe it or not, a, wait for it, domino effect. In this game we work with the bones, the ivory, the dominoes. And what we're going to do is we're going to write on a notepad a number, and in this case we're using a little training aid here. We wrote the number 20, and with the various dominoes that we have, we get to place the dominoes around the number, okay? And the goal is when the group, they have to work to make the numbers on the inside equal the number in the center. So in this case, 5, 10, 15, 20, bingo. And the challenge is you also have to have the numbers on the outside add up to equal the number on the inside. So in this case, we have the 6 plus the 4 is 10, plus the 3, 13, plus the top number here, believe it or not, yes, that is a 7 on the ivory. So again, the inner circle of numbers equals 20, the outer circle numbers equal 20. It's a little bit more challenging than you think. Get those cognitive skills, math skills going. Math Night, game number 7. Hey, we're Math Night here. We're at game station number 8. And what we're going to do next is we're going to do a little multiplication, because believe it or not, we all know we have to do those multiplication tables. The mathematical fluency, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Again, Mathnasium deck of cards, great training aid, and here's what we're going to do. You have 2 players, okay, and player number 1 is given a card, and they don't get to see what the number is, but they have to hold it to their forehead, okay? And then player number 2 gets a card, and they have to hold it to their forehead. And I, as a facilitator, tell them that the product of the 2 numbers, or the answer, is 9. So now this person here can see the 9, and they have to guess what their number is. And they go, okay, okay, if he says 9 and they're holding it, then I must be a 1. And this person over here can only see a 1, but they don't know what their card is. So they have to start thinking, okay, what number times 1 gives me 9? Oh, it's a 9. So I must have a 9. So between those 2 individuals, whichever one calls out their number first, winner, winner, chicken dinner, and they're the winner. So that's how it works here at station number 8. Multiplication heads up, great game, kids love it, and they learn a lot of math fundamentals very fast. Looking forward to coming out and playing. Thank you.